Hey guys, this is Charlotte from Support the Mompreneur Mastermind Group. I am so freaking happy and excited because I'm going to introduce you to my friend Stephanie Haak. She is an amazing woman. She has a kid already and she's pregnant with her second one, and she's going to explain to us a little bit about finance, and actually she makes it super sexy. So stay tuned and watch the video. Let me know what you think. Good morning, Steph. How are you?
Good morning, Charlotte. I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me this morning.
I am
It's a
so happy and excited to have you. That's such a pleasure. Tell us a little bit more. I know you have a daughter already and one that is on her way.
yeah. So I'm actually I have a 2 years old, Victoria. So she's with her dad right now. She's full of energy, and I'm expecting. I have my second one due for June, so I'm almost 8 months pregnant. Yeah.
Well, just like that, you don't look pregnant at all. I'm kind of
Thank
jealous, and I had a wonderful pregnancy, but I'm like, is she really pregnant? And just offline, she showed me her wonderful belly, and yes, she's pregnant.
I am. I can tell you, I feel it.
Tell us where you're from.
So I come from Belgium. So as you can hear, I have a French accent as well, like you. And so I moved to LA about 5 years ago with my husband. And so that's how kind of the whole adventure started. And yeah,
It's
so
funny, I thought it was more, I thought it was, I've known you for way more than just 5 years, because I've been in LA myself for 10 years and I felt like I've always known you. So I guess it's because we were connected so well that,
yeah.
the magic happens.
Yeah, but time flies. Like it's like 5, 6 years. Like maybe it's my pregnancy brain also, but like yeah, 5, 6 years, something like that. So yeah, time flies.
What I like about you is like you make finance sexy. So I want you to tell us what you're doing exactly every day as a job, as a work.
Yeah, so I'm independent, so I'm working in the financial field. So basically, to make it very simple, what we try to do is bring, when we speak about finance, it's true that most of the time it's very complicated. You don't want to look at it. Most of people don't even want to speak about it because it seems so complicated and overwhelming. What I'm trying to do, and my goal when I sit down with someone, is really to make finance accessible and understandable, and really break them to the simplest concepts. So at the end of the day, the most important thing for me is that people learn. And so the best way to really do something about your finance is if you understand how it works, is if you understand the concepts. So that's the main point, especially as women, I would say. Especially as women, we tend to say, as women, like I hear so many times, I don't want to hear about finances. That's my husband's side. My husband handles that. And I feel like as a woman, it's so important. I mean, that was my main goal. It was so important for me to be like sharp about finances. It was important for me to be really independent and be in control. That was really my main focus, my main goal as a woman.
And you know what I realize now that I'm connected to way more people than before? It's not, I really like the fact that you're focusing on women, and I think that's your niche. And maybe now that you're pregnant and you're a mama, maybe you're focusing more on mamas as well. But from all the connection that I get right now, not only women are like lacking, knowledge about finance, but men as well. And I think it's due to creative brain. There is something that's not connected when you're so creative with the financial part of your business, and that's very important. And I'm so happy that you're here, because maybe you're gonna enlighten me so I can finally understand better.
Yes, it's so true. Like a lot of people, it's something we don't like to look at. It's like something so many people are focused on the business. That's really the male strength, but they don't want to look at the numbers. They don't want to look at all the expenses. They don't want to look at the budgeting, because that can be overwhelming. And I think also a lot of people have that reaction because they think they are not there yet, and they're waiting to be in a better position to get started and really look at it. While that's, to me, that's one of the main, I mean, the number one common mistake that I see with people, and that's the first thing I tell them. Everyone has their own starting point, and it doesn't matter where you are at right now, but it's important to look at it so you can create a roadmap. Because I explain it like it's very easy to understand. I say, like, if I tell you, Charlotte, like, if you want to go from LA to New York, like, what's the easiest way to go? It's, you need to have like a plan to go from a plan A to a plan Z, which means like your plan A would be like your situation right now, and your plan Z would be, for instance, your retirement, for example, if that's the goal. So you need a roadmap. If you have no idea, if you have no idea what that plan Z looks like, how can you get there? It's, you cannot get on track. So you need really to, that's the most important thing. It's really to identify your goal and really build a map and like a financial roadmap to be able to get there, to know that you are on track.
And
So
and I guess you're facing a lot of challenge because finance is still very taboo with people. And when you ask them about their finance, I feel like they're not always eager to talk about that.
yes, you are totally right. Like, as we just said, like, it's, finances is not something like people like to speak about, especially if they are not quite there yet. They feel like, oh, I'm not there yet, so I don't want to speak about it. And it's like, I'm gonna wait when I'm gonna make more money. I'm gonna wait when I'm gonna have more time, or whatever. But I think, honestly, I think that with all the what happened with the COVID and stuff like that, I think no more than ever there is kind of a shift in people's mindset about finances, and they realize like, hey, we are not prepared. We don't have an emergency fund. We're not prepared. If anything happens to me, what's gonna happen? And I always say, like, people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. Most of people, they have a family, they get married, they're working hard to make an income, they're trying to get somewhere, they're really good trying to get somewhere. But the issue behind that is that they don't have a clear vision, they don't have a clear plan, to make it happen. So
Yes, and what's funny as well, it's like every motivational speaker, every like mentor, like, you know, that business, they're saying like you have to be crystal clear with your financial goal, and
yes.
we're still not very like crystal clear about financial goal for most of us. So I want to ask you, do you have like a specific exercise that we can do so we can kind of know where, what is the big picture like for us? Let's say I'm 34, I want to get retired at 65, which between us, I'm creating passive income, so
Uh-huh.
hopefully I won't have to, and I love what I'm doing, so I'm not sure that I will retire, but
I think
anyway,
you'll
for,
never retired, but
I know, but let's
but
say I
it's
want to retire like at 65. Like, can you let me know how much should I, you know, put on the side today, or you know, like the plan? What would be the plan?
yeah, absolutely. So we have something that's called, of course, there is more like things behind, more question to be asked and stuff like that. But really, to get it simplified, um, so you are 34 years old. Your goal is to retire at 65. It
Let's
means
say
that
that.
it, let's say that, if you ever retired, because, but it's good to know that, like, we don't have to work, we still work
Yes,
because we love what
yes.
we do. But let's say that at 65 years old you want to stop working, and how much do you think you need at 65 years old?
I would
What would be,
say, well, I have, you know, big dreams, but I would stay in a normal range, I guess, like 1 million, I think would be like a good
1
start.
million? That's kind of the common number that I hear. So I'm gonna share with you, there is a very good I don't know if you can see my screen like that or not.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I will share that on the group as well. So it's a very nice exercise to do for yourself. And it's called finding your financial independence number. It means that, like, hey, I have a goal. Today I'm 34 years old, whatever the age is, and my goal is to retire at 65. at 65 years old, I want to have like $1 million. So the question is, how I'm gonna get there? Like, how much should
Mm-hmm.
I save every single month to be able to get to that goal? And so, if I'm gonna do that, we're going to do that together. If you go here, you can see the future. Can you see it
Yes,
correctly?
now we can see.
So
Yes.
you have a box where it says future value. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna put, so the future value would be in your case $1 million. So at the future value, you put 1
Yeah.
million. Okay. So
Well, I want to be a billionaire, but
you wanna be a millionaire?
let's start with a million.
Let's start with a million. So you have the period. So it means like the period means like the time
Mm-hmm.
you're going to contribute
So 30 years, I
saving.
guess.
Exactly.
31.
So it's 13 years. Let me just do the math. So you're 34 years old to up to 65, it's 31 years.
Mm-hmm.
If you multiply that by 12 to have like a monthly
Mm-hmm.
goal, it's gonna give us three 372 months.
Okay.
Got it?
Mm-hmm.
And now you have the annual rate of the return. It means
Yeah.
that it is going to depend also about the interest rate you get on your money. So let's say that you are at a 8% annual rate.
Okay.
And now we're going to click on payment.
It's
Let me,
high, no? 8%?
it depends. Like you can, if you stay at the bank, and I'm going to show you actually like where we can put like a lower amount if you want to, but like there is tons of investment. That's another conversation as well. You have like different type of investments as well.
Uh-huh.
And the market, and if you look at the S&P 500 on a long period of time, they average like 9%, 9 to 12%. So you can actually get that number over
Wow.
time.
Because I was like, 8? Okay, where should I invest? Because 8% is awesome.
Yeah, I will definitely. Okay, so you see your payment.
Yeah.
So your payment, so you know that to be on track, if you have like an investment at 8%, this is the amount that you have to save every single month to be able to reach your goal.
If I start at 0.
If you start at zero, exactly.
Awesome.
And so
That
just
doesn't
to,
sound like a crazy number.
exactly, not just to make like a little bit, so to speak about investment, I'm gonna change the rate of return and put 1%, which you don't even have like at a bank.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see
Yeah.
how it impact. So this showing you like, so we go from 614 to 2300
Mm-hmm.
basically. So it shows also the importance of like the return. So basically when you think about investment, if I have to give like maybe 3 tips, no, the question is like, okay, that's fantastic, I have my number, but like which kind of investment? So there is maybe 3 questions that you keep in mind and that you should keep in mind when you think about
Mm-hmm.
investment. It's number one, how safe is the safe, what we call the safety test is how
Uh-huh.
safe is my money. The second is what's the rate of return that I'm going to get on my money. Is it going to be 1% at the bank, not even, or do you have investment that brings you like closer to like a 8%,
Yeah.
9%? The third the third test, I don't know, what did I say? I'm sorry, I got lost.
That's okay. We all
it's
lost
like
our line at one
it's
point.
my pregnancy brain. And
Yes.
the liquidity, yes. So you have the number one is safety test, you have the rate of return, and the liquidity test. It's like all liquids, all accessible is my
Mm-hmm.
money. And the number four I would like to add is like the taxes. We don't like taxes, but you have to know and
Yes.
understand like how are my investment tax.
Well, I
So
really feel empowered about what you were just saying about finance because I have to say that I'm a 0. I mean, I know about my business, and I know how much I make and how much I need and all that things. But when I think of a roadmap to my retirement, I mean, I didn't even ask myself. So thank you for what you would just share with me because I really
yeah.
feel empowered and I will look into that. And probably next time we'll do like a more, you know, a live that is more focused on investment. Um, but yeah, and you're doing that while being a mama and pregnant.
Yes, and pregnant, exactly.
How do you feel that your kids, how do you, like, how do you think you're going to bring that finance question into their life, because you're having two girls? So, and I
Mm.
feel like with girls it's even more, not difficult but different than with a boy.
So you know what? I think that you have to start like with children. I will say that my, I, to me, financial literacy is something that we should have at school. It's something that's so important, and you can make it as a game. You can really start with your children and make them save money and like teach them the value of money. Like, and it can be a game for them, but it's like
Hmm.
it's very good for them to start learning little by little. And like your children, they're going to duplicate you. We always say like, I heard someone like recently, she's a mom, uh big business woman, and she was saying, my main goal as a mother is to be a role model for my children. And your kids watch you, they look at you, they're going to duplicate you. So it's not about what you're going to tell them, they are going to see what mom and dad are doing. So it's important to give them that good example. It's important for me. That was really one of my main goal, and what my why, if I would say, is really to be like to be a good example for my children, to be a good example of like saver, like learning about all that.
And so I
So
guess as a mom who doesn't know a thing about finance, it's our responsibility to get educated about it so we can as well, be a role model for our children without actually being working in finance.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I think, in my opinion, like I mean, finances is something that's related to everyone. As I said earlier, like we are all working hard, like we are all going to spend like the next 20, 30 years, whatever the number is, to make money, make an income, like build a legacy, whatever your goal is. So it's so important to spend a little bit of time of just getting educated to learn about finances. And even as a woman, like we spent a year to plan for a wedding, for instance. But like, hey, we are going to spend a year to think about the flowers, to think about our dress, to plan all that. But if you get married, doesn't it make sense to also plan for a future? Doesn't it make sense to say, hey, I'm gonna have children at one point? How do I protect my family? How do I make sure that like I build enough like enough income? How much, how do I protect that? Like, so that's all the question that that are really important to me. And that's actually that's one of the main thing that I do about education. I It's true that like men needs it, so we do it with men as well. But I have like, for me, it's also something that's really dear to my heart, to educate mothers, to educate women. So we actually give that education for free, so you can have access to that. We do like what I was saying, doing a roadmap. I do it for free. I don't charge for that. So that's the huge difference between like the big institution, the financial industry. When you think about the big names of the JP Morgans and stuff like that, is that most of the time when you think about the financial industry, you think that they just take care of like a certain percent of the population. My dad is in finance. The minimum investment portfolio we have is like 500,000. Not everybody has like 500,000 to invest nowadays. So what about the rest of us? What about the rest of the people who can start with a little, and no matter little or little it is, they still need to have the education. They still need to have to know and understand how it works. So yes, I think that, as you said, the key is really to get educated about it, and start how little it is. It's just getting started.
I like your approach about that. And have you seen a big trend change in between when you started and now about, women coming to you to learn more?
Yes. I think with especially, I went a little bit out of the industry as I had my 2 years old. I needed a little break, as I told you, and I saw a huge shift right now, like with the especially with what's going on with the COVID. I think people realized that, hey, we are not ready. It's like we've been saying that like since a while. Like when I started especially when I came to the US. I was amazed to see how many people lived of have debts. They have like credit cards. They don't have life insurance. They don't have an emergency fund. All that kind of stuff. And no, people really start to have like more responsibility shift, where they say, "Hey, it's time for me to like." We know that you are not ready. Like we need to take care of that. It's something we have to look at it. It's not an option. We need to be ready. We need to be prepared. So yes,
Yes.
a big shift.
We have in Jen who's saying like people more now more than ever are going to need help, and
Yes,
that's totally what you're saying. Thank you, Jen, for commenting on the live. I was on Zoom,
thank
so I
you.
didn't see your comments, but thank you very much for being connected and talking about that. I will make sure that you and Jen, Stephanie and Jen, get connected because maybe she'll have more questions. I
Yeah,
had
sure.
another question. I think there is also a big shift right now because of COVID and about your industry, because I've always felt like finance was a big old industry where you need to meet people, but now that you can't, I feel like there is a new generation of people doing finance and educating people through Zoom, through webinar and things like that. How do you feel about that?
I think, especially as a mom, to be honest, for me, it's a game changer because before, when you think about it, if I had to meet with a client, especially living in LA, that was challenging. I had to do like 45 minutes, 1 hour to drive over there, to sit down with a client, to go back. It takes a lot of time um, out of my children's life. If I could say see only one client per day, and 1 or 2 or 3 clients, but maximum, that was already a lot. Like right now with Zoom, it's so much easier. I can jump on a Zoom like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, answer people's question, and in the comfort of my house. I don't have to hire her nanny. I can have my children. I can just set up, like, it's just a question of planning. I can do that early morning, later on night, or whatever, like during the nap time. It's so much easier. Honestly, I think it's, if we need to see the good thing in those challenging time, is that more than ever, I think it's a game changer for mothers, for women, as especially moms, because no, it's not like you have to choose between being a mom and spending time with your child, or being able to work. No, you can really adapt to yourself, and you can like take advantage of Zoom. It's incredible. Imagine if we had that issue, this like COVID, and if you had those challenging time years ago when we had no internet, like when we had no Zoom, it would have been a disaster. I mean, it's still a disaster. I'm not saying that it's like all good and all fine, but like it's, we are lucky to have like all the technology on our side. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and I know now that maybe can be the right transition to tell the community how they can help you and how I can help you, because I know that you're not that big on marketing yet, and
Yeah.
online marketing specifically. So I know you're looking for education so that you can be more present online. Tell us more about what you're looking for and what type of support do you need right now.
um so yes, as I'm saying that it's like a big advantage to have Zoom and have that, but as I told you, like I'm old school, so I always have like paper with me like all the time, so I'm adapting myself. So yeah, so right now I'm trying to get more like onto social media. I'm trying to like build on that, like trying to get into marketing. So that's why I was coming to you and say, hey, it's a great thing because I need those advices. Like we all have our strength, like marketing, it's not my strength. And we know that nowadays it's so important, like to be on, like people like to see you on live, the podcast, the marketing, the social media. I'm very bad with all that. I'm very, very bad. So I'm I'm adjusting. I'm step by step. So yeah.
Well, right now, I can give you another recommendation that is going to be very helpful for you to build your reputation. And it's maybe
Uh-huh.
to start a blog or a platform when you can already share what you know. So you can start educating your niche and your target market through that platform.
Awesome. I'm writing that down.
Well, we'll discuss about it later, and I will put many other resources that I think would be helpful for you for sure.
Thank you.
It was very, very awesome to have you, Stephanie, here on
Thank you
Facebook
so
on
much.
live. It finally works today
I know.
again.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for the platform that you provide, because like I think, I mean, all the people in the group are really grateful to have you doing that. We know how much time it takes, like especially me. I know, I mean, we know that it takes a lot of time to do that. So thank you so much for being like doing those live like every morning, and providing all the value on the Facebook space. It's like it's we really appreciate it. So thank you to you
Thank
also.
you very much. I feel really empowered by the community. I am so grateful that the engagement that we can throw on that page.
Uh-huh.
Always looking to help even more women. So if you know of someone who would benefit from this group and would be happy to share their thought or even just watch and get supported, like tell us to join, tell them to join, and we'll take care of the rest.
Awesome. I will do that for sure. Thank you so much,
Good.
Charlotte. Have a
Thank you
wonderful
very
day.
much. Also, I know that I'm going to have you into my podcast very soon. You need to schedule a time that works for you the best.
Okay,
So we
perfect.
will be hearing about you very, very soon. And I'm also thinking that when everyone has introduced themselves into a live, we'll go back to live, but with a specific question, with a specific topic. So maybe we can explore more things about what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. There is so many things I can speak about. Like, so if, I mean, if the people also watch right now, if you have specific questions, like, first of all, I'm reachable. Like, you can contact me without,
Yeah, we'll put all the link in the
yeah.
comment below.
And also if you have a specific topics like you want to speak about, you just guide me.
Reach
So
out to you. I will for sure. Thank you so much,
awesome.
Stephanie. It was
Thank you, Charlotte.
great to have you.
Thank
I'm
you so
grateful.
much.
I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I did. If you did, please share it. And if it's your first time here, subscribe. The more we are, the better. Feel free to join the community. I would love to have you with me. I wish you a fabulous day, and I will talk with you very soon. See you on the next video. Mwah.